Hi everybody, and welcome to E-News at the Beach. I'm Nikki McVeigh.
And I'm Frances Vega. On E-News today, we'll take a look at the backstage action on movie sets, we'll be discussing the recent 80s comeback, and we'll also sit down with Ashlee Simpson's former drummer. But first, let's review some entertainment history.
As you may or may not know, CSULB's extensive list of alumni includes some famous faces from the movie industry. Actor Steve Martin studied philosophy at the beach.
Director Steven Spielberg was also a student here during the 60s and was a member of the Theta Chi fraternity. In 2002, Spielberg earned his bachelor's degree in film production and electronic arts via independent projects.
While these two men are household names, it takes a lot of people behind the scenes to make their films successful. Recently, I sat down with Scott LaRue, who works in sound. He gave some insight into the movie-making business and the sound process for the upcoming MGM film, The Three Stooges. So tell me a little bit about what you do for a living.
We basically place the microphone on to whoever's speaking, so we have to know the dialogue. So if there's one person talking, basically the mic stays one place unless they're moving around. Two people, you have to know the lines to cue back and forth. So your mic is on whoever's talking, so you have to know that ahead of time. So if there's a lot of dialogue, you have to learn a lot of dialogue.
What has been your favorite film that you've worked on so far?
Ray, a movie about Ray Charles's life, and it was difficult. It was very hard and challenging, and we went to Louisiana, New Orleans for 2 months. I have to say it was my favorite because it was tough, and we did a very good job, and the mixer got an Academy Award for it. So it was kind of a high point in all our lives for that movie.
What do you think is the biggest misconception that the public has about the filmmaking process?
I guess it would just be the time restraints and how much time it takes to do something. I mean, a 5-second scene can take a couple days depending on what's involved, special effects wise, but it can be monotonous, doing scenes over and over and takes over and over, and then doing other shots for the same scene. So, 1 2-minute scene can take, anywhere from an hour to a couple days.
Do you have any movies lined up in the future that you're going to be working on?
We have something coming up, probably won't be till the fall. The Three Stooges are doing a remake. The Farrelly brothers are doing it. And we worked with them before, and they're great guys to work with. And it should be interesting, especially a very interesting cast. Jim Carrey and Johnny Depp was. I don't think he is now. Sean Penn is. And I think Del Toro is doing one of them. So I think those are the three that are now. It can change, but looks like that's going to be it. And hopefully they'll do it in town. And that'll be very interesting. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that.
I never realized it took so much effort just to get the sound right.
Speaking of sound, a lot of movies are known for their great soundtracks, such as the classic films The Wizard of Oz and Singing in the Rain.
Those movies are pretty awesome, but I'm a bigger fan of music from 80s films.
Well, now you can listen to all your favorite songs all over again. 80s music seems to be coming back into the mainstream, thanks to popular cover bands like Steel Panther and the upcoming band Flashback Heart Attack.
I recently caught up with their drummer, Chris Fox. The former Ashlee Simpson band member shared stories about being on tour and the ugly side of fame. So you've gone back and forth between being Ashlee Simpson's tour drummer and having your own music ventures. What's it like going back and forth between being recognized like a celebrity and being a normal person?
Well, it's weird. I'm not really a big a fan of attention. Like if people go, oh my God, can I have your autograph? Whatever. It just kind of makes me a little nervous. I really like the anonymity more than anything. But traveling and stuff was really awesome. Everything else that went along with it was cool.
If you could go on tour with any living musician or band, who would it be and why?
It'd actually be good. I'm not necessarily a huge Slipknot fan, but the fact that they wear the masks and once they get off stage, people can't come up and hoard them or anything, that would be cool. Because you still get the big venues, get to play, and all the fun of the traveling and the touring and all that, but without people bugging you. Not it's not that I mind people talking to me or whatever, but there's some that got kind of psycho and stuff.
So you've been stalked before?
This guy he would show up at probably just like any show in a 5-state circle, around New Jersey and the surrounding states, because he lived in New Jersey. And he'd come to every show, and he'd find me somehow. He'd hunt me down, and he'd give me presents. He gave me a set of iPod speakers once, a nice set of Bose iPod speakers. He'd bring me T-shirts or drumsticks or snacks for the bus, and it was really weird. And then he found my address somehow, and he mailed me a picture of an aerial view of my house from Google Earth. He's like, hey, look what I found. And it was a 40-year-old man. Like, at least if it was like a cute girl, I'd be like, all right. But no, a 40-year-old guy, that's not cool.
Wow, that's kind of creepy. So what'd you end up doing about that?
I'd actually tell him, like, dude, you're really creeping me out. You need to leave me alone. But he kept emailing me for a few months after that, and I just stopped replying because he wasn't getting it, so eventually he just finally let up.
Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing now.
I guess drummer for hire work. You know, any band that needs a drummer, be like, hey, you know, I'll do like one-off gigs or studio stuff, or like this cover band. You know, just if it pays and it's fun and the people are cool, I'm down for it. You know?
Maybe I should become a drummer.
I think you should keep your day job. On that note, that's it today for E! News at the Beach. Adriana and Robert, back to you.